Hey guys, welcome. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. I just had a really beautiful walk. It's a nice, warm-ish day for winter here in Toronto. If you're listening to this, I might actually already be in Australia. If you're listening or watching this live, then I'm still in Toronto and it's sometime in December. Anyways, I've had this question come up quite a bit and I thought I'd just actually just share this with you guys because I don't know if I've really mentioned this to the extent that I'm about to share this with you. And that's the question of like, who coaches me? Like, who do I get coaching from? And that's a really important question that I want to address here because I think it's important for me to share this with you guys because you have to understand that anytime you work with someone, you are getting their lens of their experiences, okay? And I'm a huge believer in asking and answering the question, are you the type of client you want to attract? So if you're a coach and you want people to pay you money to coach them, but you're not paying a coach to coach you, that's a massive issue, okay? So from a congruency perspective, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I want to lay out who has coached me over the years, and I want to show you exactly who's coaching me right now and give you some perspective about why I'm really good at what I do. It's not because I'm some special superhuman, it's because I've recognized that I'm not as smart as I think I am, and I've sought out expertise where needed. So 2006, I came online to start my first business, and for 3 years, I was stubborn enough to believe that I could figure this out. So I did all the stuff myself, right? I'm gonna watch YouTube videos, buy some ebooks here and there, and then just kind of crack the code. Didn't happen. Poverty line income for 3 years doesn't really get you far. 2009, end of 2009, I'm recapping my year. And I'm like, dude, what you're doing isn't working. You got to hire a coach. I didn't know who to hire because I didn't really know anyone because I was hiding behind my computer for so long. So in 2010, I attended the first couple of events. Yannick Silver's underground online seminar, which he no longer does. I think he did about 10 of them and then he shut it down. And that was my first exposure to this whole kind of world of online marketing in that kind of capacity. At that event, one of the speakers, his name was Bedros Keuilian. I literally walked up to him as he came off the stage and I said, dude, awesome, how do I work with you? And that's kind of how it started. So Bedros was my first coach. He still runs a mastermind called the Empire Mastermind, I believe. And he's the CEO of Fit Body Bootcamp, which is one of the fastest growing franchises in North America, if not the world. Anyways, he was my first introduction to like funnels and systems online. He and Craig Ballantyne was kind of the co-leader of that mastermind. They were my first two quote unquote business coaches, and I learned a ton from them. And Craig, I'm still very close with Craig. I speak to Bedros every now and then. I'm actually having dinner with Craig and a couple of their friends in about 5 days from now. We'll actually have him on the podcast shortly as well. He's got a new book coming out, so I'm super pumped to share that with you guys. So, I mean, these are guys who've built very, very large businesses themselves, and that was my first kind of forte into the world of coaching for online business / marketing purposes. I evolved out of that group, and the next one I joined was Genius Network, which was Joe Polish's group, and Joe Polish runs a group called the Genius Network, which is for very high-level marketers, online entrepreneurs, not just online, but entrepreneurs in general. And I did that for 2 years. And then I recognized that I had a deficit in how I thought about business. Like a lot of it was like me driven, like, hey, I'm like, I can come up with cool ideas and market and all this kind of stuff. But I really didn't know much about building a team and doing that stuff. So somehow I got introduced to Dan Sullivan, who's to this day, like, just an incredible person. Joined his strategic coach program, did that for, I think, 3 years. And strategic coach was amazing. Like it was, not only was it in Toronto, so it was 20 minutes from my house, which is great. But Dan and the whole organization, just some of the nicest people you could ever meet. And I learned a ton from him in terms of like framework-based thinking, higher level conceptual thinking, and just really thinking about moving away from me doing everything to now starting to build people around me to support the bigger vision. So I did that for 3 years. Then I moved into, what was the next one? I can't even remember. Anyways, recently, 2 years ago, I joined a high-level speaking mastermind. A good friend of mine, one of the leaders in the world for kind of booking stages and stuff. So I joined his mastermind. It wasn't really it was probably one of the least good, if that's even a word, decisions, not decisions, but experiences. It just really didn't live up to what it was expected to be, and it was very expensive. But anyways, I made the most of it. And then now, the last 2 years, I've been working with Taki Moore, who actually I met in Strategic Coach like 6 years ago. We were in the program together. And then, no, it hasn't been 2 years, but a year and a half. I just said, listen, man, like I need some bigger insights to really scale our coaching business, like from the delivery and program structure standpoint. And that's what he's amazing at doing. He helps business coaches go to 7-8 figures. So I'm in his highest level boardroom program. And the cool thing with that is that like everything I'm sharing with you guys, like it's not just the coach, it's not just the person, the head, it's everyone else that I have access to. So in boardroom, I have access to some of the most incredible coaches in various industries, and I'm learning a ton from them as well. And then recently joined Alex Sharfin and his program, and Alex is the world's leading consultant for helping businesses scale properly, right? So not just like getting clients, but actually scaling operations and systems and all that kind of stuff, because that's something that we actually do a lot of already. It's something we help our clients with. But I knew I needed to kind of refine that for our own business. So those are the two current coaches that I work with. And then the other one who I wouldn't consider a coach, but a very close friend of mine, and obviously someone who I download a lot of great insights from, is Nicholas Kuzmich, who's the world's leading Facebook ad strategist. So we teach Facebook ads and help our clients with Facebook ads every single day. And I'm not just making this stuff up out of thin air. Like I've run my own Facebook ad campaigns for years, and then I handed everything over to Nicholas about 2.5 years ago because I'm like, dude, man, like you're just the best. Just do this, right? So he's been doing that. But the great thing is that like because he's a good friend of mine, not only do we get to hang out, we actually drove supercars. If you saw that video a couple months ago together for like a whole day, and we had him over for New Year's last year. It was really, really cool. Anyways, like, so, like when I'm sharing stuff about what is working for us, I'm not only is it coming from my experience and in the trenches work, but it's coming from the highest possible levels. Like I'm working with right now, the best of the best in their respective fields. Not just kind of people who are mediocre, like the best in the world in their respective endeavors. Collectively right now, I'm just looking at our P&L and so forth, I spend about $13,500 every month just on the coaching. And for me, it's not even, like I don't even want to put it as a cost. It's an investment, right? It's every single time I've invested in my growth. I've probably spent over close to $700,000 since 2010 in coaching, masterminds, events, and so forth. And it's never an expense. Like I'm like, even my first coach, Bedros, like I didn't have $18,000. I'm like, just throw it on the credit card. I'll figure this out. And that's the only reason why I'm here today is I've really stood on the shoulders of giants, and I continue to do so. And I will continue to do so forever, because I feel it's just massively incongruent to coach people if you don't get coaching yourself. Because if you're not growing, you have nothing to give people. You have to constantly be evolving and outgrowing your clients and your team. And the only way to do that is to grow. It means like if you're not working with a coach who, number one, needs to be very, very good at what they do. Not just like, hey, I had one good month, but I've actually have a track record of success, because not only have I worked with all these amazing coaches and continue to do so, but I've actually built 2 multiple million-dollar companies, right? I've been around longer than most people have been walking. I've been online since 2006. Most people you see nowadays, like they've been online for like a year or two at the most. And now they're like, hey, like I'm this amazing coach and I'll show you how to whatever. And that's fine. Some of them are great. But I can promise you that 14 years gives you a lot of wisdom and perspective. So not only from the coaching perspective have I got huge amounts of insights, but for me actually building businesses for 14 years. Like if you're a client of ours, you're getting direct downloads of all of this stuff. And that's why listen, like I'm good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do, but it's not just me, it's my whole team, right? You're getting access to me and 10 other amazing coaches who are amazing in their respective endeavors. So if you need help with your messaging, your offer, your copy, your webinar, your phone sales, like your mindset, we have all that stuff covered, right? And to work with someone who just covers like one aspect of that doesn't make a lot of sense. I actually had a phone conversation with a friend on a couple days ago, and he was asking about, like, do you know anyone for like one-on-one mentorship? And I said, listen, like, I don't personally know because I've never done that. And I don't really know other successful coaches whose business is built on one-on-one mentorship because it just doesn't make sense. And I told him from my perspective, like, if we were to work together, you would get 1,000 times more value from being in our HBA program than me having a conversation with you every now and then, because then everything I'm going to recommend is already in our program. Plus, you'll get all the coaching and everything in that, right? So I wanted to share that with you because I want you to fully understand that I'm a product of coaching. Like, I fully believe that to be the best, you have to work with the best. And this is something else I believe. Like, listen, like, we're not inexpensive. Like, there are obviously cheaper options out there, but I promise you we're the cheapest option on the market because we actually help you get results, right? So other companies might be, quote unquote, the sticker price might be cheaper, less expensive, but we're 10 times cheaper because we actually help you get results. And we have this proven track record. And if you can find somebody else who specializes in the health and fitness space, who has access to the pedigree of coaching and the 14 plus years track record that I have, if you can find someone like that and they jive with your core values, they walk their talk, and they actually have a ton of testimonials, then please, I would love to know who that person is, right? Because they're very, very few and far between. So listen, I'm not here to blow my own horn, but I'm here to let you know that if you do want to grow your business, if you want to get more clients, if you want to improve your messaging, if you want to, put an offer together that is more compelling, you have to work with someone who knows how to do that. And I'll give you a great example of this. We actually have a client who's using our first client formula right now, and she's asking for a refund. And if you're watching this, I hope you do, because it's important you understand this. And we asked her to send all of her work. I'm like, send me everything you've done in the past 6 months. I want to see every single thing, every single post you've put, every single message you've had, everything. And the first thing I noticed, and she's like, well, this isn't working. I'm like, well, maybe you're not working, right? Not that she's not doing the work, but what she's doing, like, we can show you the way, but if what you're offering people sucks, like if no one wants what you're offering, that's not my problem. Especially if you're not working with us in a coaching endeavor, like you're just kind of using one of our entry-level products. Like, that stuff, you have to be able to figure that out. And if you don't know how to figure it out, don't ask for a refund, take ownership, and look at how do I get more support on this? Because the reality is, like, if you really want results, I don't care what kind of financial position you're in, you have to take the leap. You have to take the leap. I don't care if you have to get another credit card, use some kind of PayPal financing, take out a loan. We've had clients take out loans. They've borrowed money from family and friends, and I have no problem with them doing that because I believe that if they do the work, and again, we make sure that they're a qualified client of ours, but I have no problem having them do that because there's really no other alternative. What's the alternative? What are you going to do, right? You're going to find a cheaper option, which ultimately is the most expensive one. Right? The cheapest coach, the cheapest solution is always, not sometimes, always the most expensive option. Okay? And I'll just finish off with one final anecdote about why coaching with the right coach is so important. So we're going to Australia for 2.5 months and then Italy for 2 months, January 1st. And so we're just kind of tidying up a few things around the house. We noticed that the door from our master bedroom to our deck, we thought that it didn't lock. We've lived in our house for almost 5 years now. And so 5 years, we have thought that this door didn't lock properly. So we're like, okay, well, we got to replace the lock, whatever. For almost 5 years. And then my wife calls a locksmith. The locksmith comes over a couple days ago. And in the space of 10 minutes, he looks at the door and he's like, all you got to do is this. We're like, okay, so the whole time the door could lock, we just had no clue what we were doing. Pretty much, okay? So I want you to think about that in the context of hiring a true expert, someone who can look at your business and in a glimpse be like, yeah, this doesn't work. This sucks. This messaging makes no sense. Your offer, no one's going to want that. And with all the love, because listen, like, I would rather tell you that and show you how to fix it than you go to market for the next couple of years and try to figure out why this isn't working. So we spent 5 years wondering why this lock wasn't working. And then in 10 minutes, an expert comes along and says, here's how to do it. And that's what a coach does, right? That's what you do for your clients. And if you want the same for your business, we can probably do that for you as well. So We work, just so you know, with health and fitness experts who have existing coaching businesses, who are already working with clients, but who really want to amplify what they're doing, who want a more predictable and steady stream of clients in a more automated fashion. So you're not blogging and posting on social media a million times a day with nothing happening, nothing coming in. We help you build a predictable, what we call a perfect client pipeline, to attract your perfect clients day in and day out, like clockwork. People who've never heard of you within the space of a couple hours are getting on the phone with you in some cases and enrolling on the spot. That happens all the time for our clients, and it can happen for you as well, but you have to have a few things dialed in, and that's what we help you do. So if that's who you are and that's what you want, then go to workwithyuri.com, workwithyuri.com. There should be a link around this video if you're watching in the Facebook group, and apply to speak with us. Listen, like, it's not a hardcore sales pitch. Like, we're here to help you and really clarify what you're doing, what isn't working, where your business is bleeding money, and we'll show you exactly what to do. We'll put together a game plan for your business. And then you can say to yourself, okay, I'm going to try this on my own and, again, hope for the best. Or you can ask about how we might be able to help you. Okay? And either way, we're not here to pressure you, because for us, it's more of an interview to see if we even want to work with you, as opposed to the other way around. Because we've recognized that we've become pickier and pickier with the people that we let into our program, because we don't want people we don't want people in our program who don't do the work, because that doesn't look good on us. We don't want people in the program who aren't willing to commit, who don't take responsibility for the results. So if you're at a point now where you want to make 2020 your best year yet, and you want to work with the best in the business, because we are, and we are getting coached by the best in their respective businesses, and that all trickles down to you, then there's nowhere else to go. So workwithyuri.com, answer a few questions about your business so we have some more context for the conversation, and then on the next page you'll be able to book in a time to speak with us. Do that now, because we do have times that are booking up very, very quickly, obviously with the holidays, and everyone's wanting to jump in to make 2020 their best year yet. So looking forward to speaking with you. Hope this episode finds you well, makes sense, and hopefully gives you some context about why I am where I am today. It's not because of me, it's because I've endeavored to work with the best, and you benefit as a result of that. See you soon.